we were a little surprised how this stage unfolded at the end. It was all full gas on the gravel and in the climbs, and then suddenly, always after the gravel, it was slowed down. Why?
Because everybody was happy that they made it safe over there, I think. Of course, it's it's a race in a race, and in a stage race, there's always people that want to go for the stage victory, of course, but there's also the general classification, which is very important. So there's a lot going on, and the positioning before the climbs and before the gravel was very important. And then of course it went full gas, and everybody is also a little bit tired after such a section. So everybody looks around a little bit, see who is there, see if there's teammates around, and then of course then you need to rethink and make a plan to go into the next section.
And that was always the time when those who had a puncture came back. I mean, there were always some of the favorites dropped, and some teams with 2 or 3 riders at the front, and still nobody pushed through.
Yeah, but you of course also have to have the strength, and I think like SD in the end with they were with numbers, and with the attack of Marlen, they could cover that really well in the group behind. So that was of course very, very strong from Marlen, and also good by that team.
But one last thing about that, she went at 23 to go. I think everybody knows when Marlen Reusser goes with 23 to go, that's not good. What did you think in that moment?
I also saw her going, and I thought, well, if she gets a gap, then it's probably going to be hard to get her back. And of course, that was probably the thinking of some other people as well. But then she already had a gap, and it's also difficult to cover everything. So that's where you think, and of course also it was nice. We were trying to stay in contention, but we're also happy to keep the yellow today.
Do you think gravel stages have a place in stage races?
It's hard to tell. Of course, gravel, some gravel is also nice. It's spectacular for the fans to watch. Like today, some sections were pretty loose, so it was really difficult. We made it through safely, and then you would say yes, it was all fine. But there's probably some girls that gonna tell elsewise, and I can say then for a general classification it can be pretty awful. But it's for cycling. There's different specialities. And I think some gravel is okay, but always look at what is safe or not.
And in the final, I know everybody was on the limit, but how comfortable did you feel covering the moves and responding to especially on this downhill on a gravel?
Yeah, well, the last gravel section was indeed pretty fast, and also had some very loose sections. So I tried to stay up front, and there were some attacks. And I knew it was always better to stay in the front than going a little bit further back. So I was quite okay there. And then my teammate Rianne Marcus came also through to keep the pace and to keep me safe, and to get me to the finish nicely. And that was of course very nice.